All right, Power fans and surrounding areas, welcome to a Wednesday's podcast. We have another podcast. So we've been talking football today. Everybody's been following me. We've been talking volleyball, but tonight we're going to talk basketball. We're going to talk Rockport-Fulton Pirates basketball. And on the screen, I have the head man here for Rockport, head basketball coach Keith Thompson. Coach, how you doing?
Pretty good. And yourself?
Man, Coach, I'm doing great, Coach. It's been Podcast Wednesday for me. I do about 5 or 6 podcasts. I still got, I think, one more to do before I go to bed tonight. But it's a lot of fun. We talk a lot of sports, and thank you for coming on. We've had a long day, and for all of the Pirate fans that are tuning in here on the Pirates Coast Sports Network, Coach Thompson is going to come on every Wednesday. He will be here. It'll be about 30 minutes, and we're going to kind of talk about the program, players, stats, and we'll preview games. We'll recap games here with Coach. We'll talk other levels of basketball as well. We'll talk middle school, JV, freshman, and I'm hoping to be able to get the other coaches to come on maybe once or twice a month throughout the season. But Coach Thompson will be on every week. So, Coach, let's jump right into it here. I know you've had a busy weekend doing basketball, doing cross country. You're doing all kinds of things. You're everywhere. But let's get to basketball. I'm always excited that this basketball program, Coach, has been really good for quite some time. It's been we've been in the playoffs. We've gone some rounds, but we've been able to make the playoffs pretty much the last 4 or 5 years, maybe plus. So I think that's we're trending in the right direction. Obviously, this is your second year here, but let's recap the IWA scrimmage. So it wasn't a game; it was a scrimmage. How did the boys do? And let's just say this, that I know you don't have all the basketball players. Rockport's still playing football. So how did we do in the scrimmage?
I think we did well. Obviously, like you said, us not being at full strength or with guys that are seniors, we're really young right now. I think we have 3 sophomores. No, we have 4 sophomores and 1 junior. I think everybody, and then 2 seniors. So we're really young right now, starting out the season. A lot of guys, even they're being juniors and stuff like that. This is their first year of actually playing varsity and seeing the different, the speed of the tempo for the game and how much more physical guys are, things like that. So there's still a lot of stuff for us to iron out, but I thought they competed well. And that they executed as well as we could do early on in the season. So there's a lot of good things that I saw from the scrimmage.
Absolutely, Coach. And again, it's going to be like this for a couple of games. Obviously, Rockport is in the playoffs as well. So they're just this Friday going to play the final game of the regular season, and then be another week in the playoffs. And if Rockport gets that win, then they go another week. So it may be a few more weeks before we get our full team basketball team together. I do want to let people know that like tonight we are coming live to you here on the Pirates Coast Sports Network from the SR Bowl House, and that's every Wednesday. We will be out here. We'll be talking basketball. Maybe Coach can stop by once or twice during the season here at the SR Bowl House. But it's Pirates Night, so we do podcasting. We'll have music. We'll give some giveaways. We'll have some prizes. And so we want to continue to build this thing up here, local night, Pirates Night here at the SR Bowl House. And we'll do it for the following sports: soccer, baseball, softball. So we're looking to do a lot of things here. So definitely come join us. Coach Thompson's podcast is at 7:00 every Wednesday. And he may be at home, but we'll be coming to you live from the SR Bowl House. Bring the family. They got great food. They've got great employees out here. Augie and Diego do a great job. They've been around for quite some time. So definitely bring the family out on Wednesday and come meet the SR Bowl House crew and the Pirates Cove crew. Coach, let's talk a little bit about the varsity. So I know you and I were talking. You don't have, I don't believe, the roster finalized, but you more or less know who's going to be there or who's playing currently now. Can you let us know who we have on varsity at this time?
We have Roman Cox returning, Angel Aguilar, Gary Horton, Or we have Roman and Angel, they're seniors. Gary Horton is a junior. We have Alex Castaneda, who is a sophomore. Roman Sterling, who is a sophomore. Will Bowles is a sophomore. Joseph Mace, who is a sophomore. Uh, Weston Hadley, who's a senior. And then we have Brian Kaiser, who is a move-in, but he's a sophomore also, and he's been extremely helpful to the program. New guy, somebody to keep an eye out on.
Awesome. And then of course, that's just the kids that are playing right now. We still got to get our football guys to transition from football over to basketball. So again, that's the varsity roster currently right now until we get the other players there. Coach, how's practice going? I know that right now it's a little difficult to run these practices. I mean, you run the plays, right? But then you're going to have these kids from football coming in. So how hard is that transition when you have these guys, they're kind of building this little chemistry, then you bring the other guys on as well to try to fit in. Does it take a long time, Coach, to get those players to fit in and get that chemistry going before we really, you see the full potential of this team?
I it's kind of hard for me to say, really, because like you said, this is my second year, but my actual first year doing it. And I haven't truly installed the offense that we're gonna be running throughout the year because I didn't want to teach it to what we have now because we don't have the personnel to run what I want to run. And I just kind of was like, I don't want to. I don't. It's kind of like beating a dead horse and just trying to, you know what I mean. So what we have now, like you said, they're building chemistry, but we are running the simpler version of what we're going to be running throughout the year. I wanted to save that and kind of teach it to everybody. What I will say though is we did put in a new defense this year, and that has been a chemistry builder with who we have, and I think that might take a little while for the new guys to come in and kind of get a feel for it because it's going to be something different than a lot of people have seen. I was talking to some of my players about it, and I was looking all summer trying to figure out something. How could we stand out and be a little different from everybody else? And so I spent most of the summer trying to come up with this new zone that we're gonna run this year. So y'all will see a little bit of it. And we're probably gonna try to go ahead and take that from the varsity level and push it all the way down to the middle school. Because right now I'm loving what I'm seeing from it, and I kind of want to just build the program. So that will probably take a little while, to get on board with that. But most of the guys, man, like I said, I've had with me since my first year here at Rockport. So these guys kind of know what I want. They know how I am. So it shouldn't take too long to get them incorporated.
And that is true. This is your second year as the head man here in Rockport, but you have been here as an assistant. So these kids were very young that are seniors now, juniors, but they've been around you. They know how you practice. They know what your expectation is. So I do anticipate that it'll be a lot faster than not, right? When we get our system enrolled. I'm really excited, Coach. I think, like I said, this team has made the playoffs consistently the last couple of years. So we've been going down the right direction. Now it's about continuing to build that playoff, going in past the first round, second round, third round. And so I love what I'm seeing, what I've seen in the past from this basketball team. Coach, I always talk about the future Pirates. Obviously, we want to, get the seniors on as much as possible, but I'm always in the back of my mind thinking about the future. And that's the junior varsity, that's the freshman, but the middle school. So I want to talk a little bit about the middle school. You talked and you told us who the coaches were going to be, and we hope that we can get them on throughout the season. But for you, that seventh and eighth grade, what is your expectation this year for that team? Obviously, winning as many games is always on the mind of the coaches, right? But what do you want to see overall from beginning of the season to the end, where you can say, I saw what I wanted to see from this group?
I think just growing as a team, as a program, really, really just improving and kind of like I said, man, I really want to go and take what we're doing at the varsity level and go ahead and start trickling that down to my 7th grade and 8th grade teams, and that way they can get a feel of also like what we run, the terminology of everything like that. Um, and just kind of excited to be able to build a program, from the bottom to the top, in the way I see it and how I want it to be. But I think just getting better, right? Like getting better, understanding basketball more as a whole, um, and not being robots. Like I don't want kids to come up and be robots. I want them to think the game. I want them to have a little way about themselves that they can come and bring it to the game, and make it special. And then, most importantly, just have fun. 7th and 8th grade right now, I think I want them to compete. I want them to win, but I want them to have fun so that they want to continue to keep doing it.
And I think that's great to mention that it's on top of all of the practice and you want to win and stuff. The most important thing is to have fun, right? If they're having fun and they enjoy the game and they're learning it, they're going to come back the next year. And again, that's our future Pirates. And so we're going to be paying more attention to them this year than we have the last 2 years. The program and what's going on down at that level. We'll definitely be asking Coach Thompson when he comes on his podcast, but also, like I said, being able to get the other coaches to come on so they can also tell us what they're doing and how well the players are going. So again, Pirate fans, when you see this a podcast, I ask that you like and share it. We want to get more eyes on the basketball program. We're working on trying to get the Lady Pirates basketball coach on as well. And so we want to be able to do this every week, get some interview with some players that want to come on. So when you see this, just don't sit there and scroll through it. Like it and share it to your timeline, share it with a friend, family. Let's get more eyes on this podcast and hear how Coach is going to build this program up. Like you said, we're going to build it from the ground up. So let's go ahead and do that and get as many eyes as we can here on the Coach Keith Thompson weekly podcast. And so, Coach, you've got a couple of games coming up here between now and next Wednesday. Let's talk the first one. You got one Friday. Is this the first game of the regular season? This is not a scrimmage. This is a game.
Yes, sir. This is our first game. We'll be in Port Aransas.
So, what time does the game start? And Port Aransas always has a really good program that I've known from past. What time does the game start? And what are you expecting from Port Aransas?
Game times are going to be freshman at 5, JV at 6:15, and then varsity at 7:30. Um, as far as the expectations, man, I expect them to give us a good, season opener. I know they're gonna be well coached. I know that they're gonna play hard. They're gonna try to execute a lot of things, and it's just gonna be a good test for my younger guys to, really go up against, because we're going up against a solid 2A. They're usually picked first out of their district every year. So it'll give them a good taste of what varsity basketball can be and what it will be for them in the future. But it also is going to give guys like Roman Cox, the opportunity to really to lead these young guys and help them understand what it takes and to be that positive, that positive model for them, because, we're younger. We're not as experienced. We don't have our football guys. We know Port A doesn't have a football team, so these guys they're gonna be loaded with their guys from the beginning of the year. So it gives him a chance to lead and lead through maybe, some tough times like that. So I'm excited, man. I think it's a good challenge.
And we played Port Aransas quite often. Every time at the beginning, the last few years, I've seen that they have been on our schedule. So they know Rockport. We know Port Aransas. And then we go over to the next two games. And so you got a game right the next day on Saturday. That's November 9th. That's at Corpus Christi Moody. And then you'll have the first home game of the season on Tuesday, November 12th versus CC Carroll. So I'm assuming you're expecting pretty much the same thing as you did from Port Aransas.
Oh, for sure. I think that with we jump from Port Aransas being 2A, and then we go into 2 5As off the back. So it's gonna be some good basketball in the next couple of days. Good test for us to see where we're at and what we can handle, what we can get better at. And that's what I'm harping in practice over and over. Beginning of the season, not trying to push too much that it doesn't matter, but at the same time, these are our stepping stones. How can we get better? Just get better every game. Let's fix something that we did wrong the last game, and we can just build off of that. Especially with the younger guys. I'm trying not to beat them up too much and build that confidence in them, and let them know that you're here for a reason. And right now, this is what we got, and we can make the most out of it.
And coach, these kids, because of football, this is your opportunity, right? Like we always talk about, you never know when your opportunity is going to get where you work out during the summer, you work out during the off season, because you never know when your number is going to be called. And in a situation like this, for the younger players who their numbers were called up because we've got so many kids up on football, this is your opportunity to shine. This is your opportunity to play at the highest level here and show exactly what you got. So if I was one of those players, that's how I would look at it, as an opportunity to be able to show my skills, and hopefully at the end it'll earn me a spot there on the varsity roster. We'll see what happens though. And again, Coach Thompson's going to come on every Wednesday at 7 o'clock. You can catch it live right here on the Pirates Coast Sports Network. We are live at the SR Bullhouse. So definitely every Wednesday is Pirates Night. When football season ends, we'll continue to do this, as we'll go through basketball, we'll go through soccer, we might even have cross country like next year, powerlifting, wrestling, baseball, softball. So a lot. We'll be out here every Wednesday throughout the football, or throughout the school season. Coach, I want to jump off of basketball just for a bit. We had a podcast last week where you're also a cross country coach, and you were able to take one of our players, Royce Havens, made it to state. We talked prior to the run, so I wanted you to give us the results. I've already seen them, but leading up to that, how was Royce feeling? He played, but he was like 107 out of 160, I believe.
Yes, sir. Um, he was nervous. We talked at the starting line, and he was nervous, and me and Coach Blue just reassured him that he put in the work, and that he needed to just leave it up to God, and trust in what he's done, because we said at this point there's nothing else we can do. You've done everything that we've asked, and God has a script, so let it play out.
Absolutely.
But he PR'd from his freshman year, from when he was there, almost by 50 seconds. He ran a 17:44, which is amazing. And then he, like you said, 107 out of 160 kids. And I joked with him a little bit when we were done, and I just kind of told him, I told him, I said, Royce, I don't think I've ever seen you in the middle of a pack before, because down here, man, he's usually the first one. You looking around, nobody even close to him. So when we go up there, and he's like, yeah, he's like, that's what happens when you start running with the big dog. So, that was fun, man, just to see him compete, and at that level. And what's really fun is knowing that we have another year with him to get back there and improve even more.
Absolutely. And coach, thank you. Like I said, next year we're going to cover cross country. That is something that we, in talking to, oops, I think we lost Coach Keith Thompson there for a bit. So I'm not sure what happened, but let's see if we can get him back on. So let's give him a second here. Coach, can you hear me? So I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now, Coach. So yeah, well, I'll tell you, Coach, we're going to be covering cross country next year. Obviously, and getting with Coach Sosa, he wants us to be able to have a podcast and do as much as we can for every program. So we're definitely going to be covering that next year. But Coach, thank you for what you do. Thank Coach Blue for what she does. I mean, I think it's amazing. Anytime you can get to regionals or a state, that's awesome. And then, like you said, Royce is coming back. So, look, now we know who Royce is, and we'll be definitely following him. But as you guys were saying, there's some up and coming also talent, skill runners. So we're definitely looking forward to what we can do next year. Again, I want to remind everybody that Coach Thompson will be every Wednesday during the basketball season. He'll come on unless something happens. He'll be coming on every Wednesday at 7 throughout the basketball season to talk about his players' performance. We'll recap games, preview upcoming games, tournaments, and we're also going to be live streaming some of these games. And so it's not just podcasting. It's going up to the gym. It's streaming the game, so you can catch the full effect of what we're doing: streaming, podcasting, interviewing with coaches and players, talking about the other levels. We want the Pirate community to get the full effect of what we're doing here on the Pirates Coast Sports Network when it comes to basketball, baseball, and all of the sports. So, Coach, thank you very much for coming out. I just want to remind everybody they do have a home game on Saturday. This is on Friday. It's in Port Aransas. On Saturday, it's at Moody. But then our first home game of the season will be Tuesday, November 12th, against CC Carroll. So definitely, if you can't make the road games, come on out on Tuesday as Carroll will be in town. Coach, what time is that game? At 6 o'clock?
The Carroll game?
Yes, sir.
That should be at 7:30.
7:30 will be the game time. So definitely come on now. We've always had a packed gym during basketball and volleyball. Student section gets out there. I love it. And so, like I said, we're going to be out there streaming the game. So, Coach, thank you very much for your time. Appreciate it. I know we've had a long day. Coach will be back next Wednesday. There's 3 games between now and next Wednesday. So definitely go out there, especially the home games, and support our Pirates basketball. Coach, I'm going to give you the final thought. Anything you want to add before I let you go?
Just like you said, come out and support us. The boys will appreciate that. And let's go ahead and pray that Rockport football has a long, successful playoff run. And that they're successful under Coach Souza.
Absolutely. We got to meet Coach Sosa. Love what we're doing this year here, Coach. I mean, I think we're going to be really good. I think the coaches that I've met are really, really good. Kids seem to really be responding to you guys, and that's good. So I'm definitely looking forward to what we're going to be able to do here under our AD head football coach, Eric. Make sure I don't say Chris, like my partner, Eric Souza. And Coach, I'm really looking forward to seeing what 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 you're going to build here in terms of our offense and what we're going to run. I think it's an exciting time. Definitely, it may take some time, but to have the opportunity to build something here from the ground up, I think is exciting. It definitely excites me. I know it excites you. So we're definitely looking forward to seeing how that's going to look. And Coach, if you ever need anything from us here on the Pirates Coast Sports Network, you got my number. Don't hesitate to text, and we'll be there.
Sounds good, man. Sounds good. Thank you.
All right, Coach. See you next Wednesday, and good luck
All
on these
right.
3 upcoming games.
Thank you.